This is a space news update for July 28th, 2008. In the news today, 4 years after Spaceship One became the world's first privately developed manned vehicle to travel into space, famed aircraft designer Burt Rutan and billionaire financier Sir Richard Branson unveiled elements of the commercial follow-on vehicle today. White Knight 2 will be the mothership for the air-launched Spaceship 2, which will take fare-paying passengers to the edge of space and back for the tourist ride of a lifetime. For the past 4 years, engineers at the facilities of Scaled Composites, the company founded by Rutan and now owned by Northrop Grumman, have been working in near-total secrecy to design and build White Knight 2 and Spaceship 2. When it finally flies, Spaceship 2 won't take people into orbit around the Earth as the Space Shuttle does. Instead, after release from the mothership, the rocket plane will take passengers on a suborbital flight that will offer up to 5 minutes of weightlessness for its passengers, who will pay a hefty $200,000 for the 2.5-hour round trip to space and back. The White Knight 2 mothership will carry Spaceship 2 underneath to an altitude of 50,000 feet. At that point, the aircraft will release Spaceship 2, which will fire its own rocket engine and begin the climb to 62-mile high altitude, the internationally recognized beginning of space. A lot of work remains before Spaceship 2 makes its first flight and can begin carrying paying passengers on commercial flights, however. Before that can happen, White Knight 2 and Spaceship 2, still under construction, will undergo more than a year of rigorous testing on the ground and in flight. Scaled Composites will begin ground tests of White Knight 2 in August, followed by the start of flight testing in September. Flight tests of Spaceship 2 may take place early next year. According to Virgin Galactic President Will Whitehorn, Spaceship 2 could begin commercial operations in late 2009 or early 2010 at the earliest. After Rutan's Scaled Composites won the Ansari X Prize in 2004, Branson predicted that commercial passengers would begin taking suborbital trips into space in 2007. However, development of the world's first commercial passenger-carrying spaceplane has been more difficult than expected and beset by tragedy along the way. Last year, an explosion at Scaled Composites' rocket engine test site in the Mojave Desert killed 3 of the company's employees during a routine test of the Spaceship 2 propulsion system. The accident and subsequent investigation set back the company's development plans. But the accident failed to discourage Burt Rutan or Richard Branson, who beamed like children on Christmas morning today as they unwrapped the new aircraft. Perhaps more appropriately, they appeared like new parents at the birth of their baby. According to a Virgin Galactic press release, White Knight 2 has a unique heavy-lift, high-altitude capability and an open architecture-driven design which provides for maximum versatility in the weight, mass, and volume of its payload potential. It has the power, strength, and maneuverability to provide for pre-spaceflight, positive G-force, and zero-G astronaut training, as well as a lift capability which is over 30% greater than that represented by a fully crewed Spaceship 2. The vehicle has a maximum altitude over 50,000 feet, and its U.S. coast-to-coast range will allow the spaceship to be ferried on long-duration flights. White Knight 2 will be renamed Eve, in honor of Branson's mother, who was in attendance at today's ceremony. With a wingspan of 140 feet, the dual fuselage design of White Knight 2 is about the same size as a World War II-era Boeing B-29 bomber. However, Virgin Galactic's plane is much lighter, since it is constructed using super-strong composite materials rather than steel. It is the world's largest all-carbon composite aircraft, and many of its component parts have been built using composite materials for the very first time. The wing spar, for example, is the longest single-carbon composite aviation component ever manufactured. Powered by 4 Pratt & Whitney PW308A engines, which are among the most powerful, economic, and efficient available, White Knight 2 is a mold breaker in carbon efficiency and the epitome of 21st century aerospace design and technology. This has been a Space News Update for July 28th, 2008. If you would like to watch our archived updates, please visit our website at www.dailyspaceupdate.com. For more space news and multimedia, visit the Spacearium at spacearium.com or spaceflightnews.net. And be sure to watch again for the next Daily Space Update.